A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus and his disciples went into the Judean countryside, and he spent some time there with them and baptized. John was also baptizing at Aenon near Salim because water was abundant there, and people kept coming and were being baptized. John, of course, had not yet been thrown into prison. Now a discussion about purification arose between John's disciple and a Jew. They came to John and said to him, "Rabbi, the one who was with you across the Jordan, to whom you testified, here he is baptizing, and all are going to him." John answered, "No one can receive anything except what has been given from heaven. You yourselves are my witness that I said, I am not the Messiah, but I have been sent ahead of him. He who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. For this reason my joy has been fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Our generation of Christianity emphasizes so much on the mercy of God. Indeed, it will be never enough to speak about the mercy of God the Father. And God has been merciful since day one. There is nothing new about his mercy. But what is different in our generation from previous generation is a strange silence about God's judgment. Is there any suppression of discussions about God's judgment and punishment? Not really. Is there any church authority that denies the end of the world? I haven't heard yet. Then who started this silence on the judgment of God? I'm sure it will be unsuccessful to find such one. But you might also have noticed another silence. It is silence about sins. We still say sin or sins during the Mass and other prayers. We still call ourselves sinners at the beginning of the Mass. However, we don't hear often anymore catechesis on sins. Instead, as Christianity becomes inclusive and lenient, there are not many things left to be called sinful. Everyone has to be understood by his own standard. Then everyone can be and should be understood and accepted. Nobody should be judged anymore. This is why there came a silence about God's judgment, because no one is left for God to judge. It is that simple. Where there is no sin, there is no judgment. Our generation makes St. John's letter we read today obsolete and irrelevant. St. John still speaks about sins. He discusses mortal sins and venial sins. As a matter of fact, our generation makes St. John a liar because he insists on something that doesn't exist. Where some theologians will explain that the concept of sin was just one way to explain human behaviors that the unenlightened ancient and medieval people could accept. The concept of sin was an attempt to guide more people toward desirable behaviors, but no human behaviors can be intrinsically evil because they all want good things. God understands each and every one. He will not condemn anyone. Everyone is hopeful, and all shall be saved by the infinite mercy of God, and so on. I might feel better if I could convince myself that there is no sinner before God. But then I would not need Christ. Or Christ had come to earth for nothing because he said he came to call sinners. If I denied sin, I don't have to be Christian. If there were no reality of sin, there would be no need for a Redeemer. Therefore, no Christ and no Christianity.